This is The Juicy Good Life, the greatest hits of personal and business growth, packaged for you in a time that's shorter than your shower. I'm Sarah Stokes, and here are your strategies for stress and success. Hey, Juicy Good Lifers. I am here with Ursula Mentjes. She is a sales coach, a sales trainer. She's just a fierce woman who writes books and hosts podcasts and is a mom to a little guy named Luca who's awesome and does so many things. A speaker. She travels the country speaking, and now she's here with us to kind of give us extra help on our sales because Lord knows we all need it, and sales makes our world go round.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So Ursula, what's been something fun in your business this year? I'm holding 3 of your books, but what are you like in love with right now?
Well, I'm super excited. So I'm finishing my next book, so that'll be my 5th nonfiction. So that's exciting, but I'm not quite as excited about that as I am about my children's book. So shh, don't tell. But it's going to come out sometime this next year, and I'm taking all those ideas that that I give to adults and to my clients and breaking it down so kids can get it at an earlier age.
That's amazing.
So I want it to be a whole series. And Luca, our son, who is 5 now, has really, really inspired that work as I've seen him grow. And I just thought, what if he knew all this stuff that I had to figure out later in life as a kiddo?
Ooh.
So
yeah,
it's been fun.
Could truly set the world on fire.
Yeah, he will.
That's amazing. Well, we are trying to ignite business for ourselves. We want to boost our sales so we can have that juicy good life. Yeah. And Ursula literally makes a living telling people how they can really harness the power within to make more sales. And you just do this in a multitude of ways. And you can see the other videos from Ursula as well. But today we're talking about following up. So in sales life, this is huge, right? I'm sure you have a million stats on how many times it takes before somebody says yes. And, it seems daunting to us.
Yeah. So 81% of sales close on or after the 5th follow-up.
Wow.
And let's just say it's more than that, right? Like, let's just say it's more than it. Now, I also believe that when you have sales skills and you've honed your sales skills, I know you have, that can be a shorter period of time. So don't be daunted by that. Like, the more you increase your sales skills, because that's what it is. Selling is a skill, the easier it gets to cut down on that sales cycle. I had actually an employee one time, though. He called a company over 100 times, left voicemail after voicemail after voicemail, called, could not get through. And it was an HR training director. And she just never called him back. And one day he said, Ursula, I have an idea. And I said, what's that? And he said, well, I'm going to send her a cactus. And I thought, oh, that's a terrible idea.
Okay.
And he said, I'm going to put a note on it that says, I don't want to be a thorn in your side, but I really want to earn your business. Now remember, he'd called 100 times or more, left voicemails. The second she got that darn cactus, she called him back and said, I've never met anyone so persistent in my entire life. So I'm going to take a meeting with you. And it was a major corporation, and he landed business with her. So the real question is, it's not like, I get the question all the time, how many times should I follow up? You follow up until you get a clear yes, and they're paying you, a clear no, it's not a good fit, and that's okay, or a next step on the calendar. Unfortunately, 50% of us give up after the first call.
Yeah.
We make one call, and maybe we get the person on the phone and they can't talk in that moment, and we make a judgment about that. That's not true. When really what is true is what they told you, which is, I have to go pick my kids up after school, or I'm heading into another meeting right now. I simply can't talk. Accept that that's the truth. Yeah. Don't make up stories that might not be true and say, that's great. I understand. When's a good time for me to call you back to set up a time to meet with you? Be direct, be intentional. They'll tell you.
Yes. And intention is so huge.
Yes.
And in that follow-up moment, following up with them, you need to have an intention, right?
Yes.
Before you pick up the phone, or what's the point?
Yes. Actually believe, have the intention, you will get the appointment. Especially when if you're calling on your top 20% and these are your great potential clients, expect them to say yes to you. Expect them to say yes to the appointment. Expect them, because when you have that intention, you use different words. You use words like, when we get together, not if. You talk about next steps more naturally. So take time to slow it down, be intentional, and make that connection.
Awesome. That is so wonderful, and I think underutilized in our business culture.
Yes.
Underutilized. People are like, oh, woo-woo. Right?
Yeah, intention.
Like, it doesn't matter what comes out of our mouth. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Because we are feeling beings. Like humans, we're always sensing what's being said and what's not being said. The subconscious is always working. And so if someone's hearing words like, if, subconsciously they're thinking, well, maybe this person doesn't really want my business, or they're feeling off. When you're confident and you use words like when and next step and you're intentional, that's what they're going to sense from you.
Yes.
And we buy confidence more than anything else. You buy confidence, I buy confidence. When someone's confident and you believe they're going to solve your problem, you're going to work with them all day long. So remember that. What are you conveying to them?
Yes. And that clicks for me. I think one thing that we do as a company is make sure it's a good fit.
Yes.
But we also have to know we can help them.
Yes.
And yesterday I had a sales call. I know I can help him. I know I can help him. So that then emboldens me to feel my worth.
Yes.
And worth is a big deal, especially in the follow-up, right? You talk about these stories we're making up.
And you said an important word right now, which is no.
I know.
So there's often we go into a sales meeting, we say, I think I can help them. And then maybe we meet with them, and as we're in that meeting, we gain this knowing of, I know I can solve this person's problem or solve this business challenge for them. I'm so confident that I can do that. When you start to say that, I know I can help you, the client's going to feel that. The prospect, they're going to know. They're going to know as well. So transferring that knowing is super powerful.
And what do you coach people through that? How do you coach people through that fear of even picking up the phone? Because it is so much easier to just start fresh with somebody who hasn't blown you off.
Sure. So the first thing to remember is that it's not about you, it's not about me, and it's not about you. What does that mean? It means that you're here to serve the people around you, the businesses that need you, the individuals who need you. And when you're not doing that, you're not serving. So start to shift it, start to reframe it to see, if I'm not following up, I'm not actually serving anybody. And the day your prospect calls you up and says, hey, Sarah, I saw your ad and here's my credit card. I'm ready to buy your retainer pack, or whatever it is, right? Go buy a lotto ticket. That doesn't happen. We actually have to be an active part of the process where we do follow up, we engage, we show them, that we want to do business. Because think about the flip side. Think if you called someone and you wanted to purchase their product or service, and they never called you back. Or you met them at a networking event and you said, hey, I had it happen recently. I met this woman, I really wanted what she had. And I told her, I said, follow up with me, give me a call, send me an email. It was about a vacation. I said about this vacation, and I haven't heard from her.
Oh no.
I would have bought from her.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna buy from somebody else.
Yes.
So shift it. You aren't serving unless you're following up.
Yes. And it's showing you what you can expect as a client or a customer of theirs. Is like, are they gonna
It's like
mid-trip,
dating.
am I going to need them and they're not going to call me back?
Right,
yeah.
right. It's like dating. We're making all kinds of assumptions. So when you go above and beyond in that first meeting, bring their favorite cup of coffee, bring a book that you think they might like. Like, go above and beyond to show that you actually care and that you've done your research on how you can help them. That makes a huge difference. I feel like we're in this time where, we rely on social media, we hide behind our computers, and we're not willing to have these face-to-face or these Zoom meetings where we make that deeper connection.
Well, and you're so good at through Sales Camp helping people through that. So I highly recommend that if you still don't feel that confidence in the sales process, you're going to want to go to Sales Camp for sure. It was a great experience. I still use those tools.
I'm so glad.
Still do. So when do you tell people to stop following up? And I know you've alluded to this, the no, the yes, or the next step. Are there gray areas where you're like, just back away, the ideal client thing,
Yeah. So if you think someone's your top 20% or an ideal client, but then you start to get through the process and maybe you've given them a small step to do. So they need to go do something before you can take another step with them, or they need to do some research and bring something to you. And they don't do it and they don't follow through. In my business as a coach, one of the things we can't coach on is motivation. I can't help someone get motivated. That's an intrinsic thing. So that becomes a red flag. They'll tell me they want something, but they're not even willing to take a few steps. I know I can't help them, and that's okay. Maybe they're just not ready. So if you get a red flag, it's okay to walk away. Not only is it okay, but it's best for the health of your business to walk away.
Yes, and I told Ursula I have a current situation where I'm like, I know I can help you, but an email back to me showed me all of my non-ideal client moments.
Yes.
And it's like, ooh, that's how they measure success. That doesn't line up with our company. And now I need to gracefully exit.
Yeah. And to realize that when you're saying yes to business that's not a good fit, so if you would have said yes to that, then underneath that, there's a limiting belief that there's not enough of my top 20% out there. And that's a lie. 7 billion people, or however many are on the planet right now, plus all the business, like there's enough business for everyone. There's enough business for you, for me, more than enough for what we want to create. So don't fall into those limiting beliefs or believe that they might be true.
Cheers to the abundance mentality.
Yes!
Thank you, Ursula. Yes.
Let's prosper.
And it's a daily reminder sometimes when you are in business and you're feeding families, you're feeding,
you have
salaries.
bills to pay.
Yep. It is a daily mantra.
Yes.
There's always enough.
There's more coming. And often when you say no, and if you haven't said no before and all of a sudden you say no, watch what happens. Watch who shows up. Because the second you say no, you're saying yes to who you do want to work with. And it's amazing how all of a sudden you'll bump into someone else or you've made room.
Yes.
So keep the faith through that process because it can be scary. But on the other side of that is who you want to work with.
Yes. And to kind of wrap up the follow-up, is there ever a list that's too dusty that you shouldn't revisit?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because there's always something you just be authentic. I know I met you a year ago at that trade show, and I know I haven't checked in with you, and I wish I would have. But anyway, I'm checking in now. How are things going? People will remember you.
Yes.
And while it seems like a long time has passed, it's maybe to them it doesn't feel like it. Or the timing might be perfect right now where they say, oh, Sarah, I'm so glad this is the perfect time right now.
Yep.
Dust it off.
There is a reason you're watching this video right now because perhaps there's somebody in your list that is ready for you now.
Yes.
Good. Thank you, Ursula.
My pleasure. Thank you.